Good morning Year 7 and welcome to today's maths lesson. Let's start off with a quick starter, shall we? What's 8 squared? Can you solve 3x equals 180 and work out the size of angle x? Pause the video for a couple of minutes and work those out in your light blue books for me. Okay, let's go through some answers. 8 squared just means 8 times 8 and 8 times 8 is equal to what, Jack? 64, lovely. If 3x equals 180, if I divide both sides of my equation by 3, I find out what x is. So Evie, what's x this time? 60, lovely. And finally, we know the angles on a straight line add up to 180. If I've been given this angle as 75, to work out what x is, I need to do 180, take away 75, which gives me what, Robert? 105 degrees. Splendid. Okay, let's head into today's lesson, Year 7. These are the kind of questions we're going to be headed for. This is our lesson destination. In your dark blue books, can you give me the title types of triangles? Can you then draw these 4 types of triangles out for me and see if you can fill in the gaps? Pause the video for 5 minutes, see how many of these gaps you can fill now in your dark blue books. Okay, Poppy, an equilateral triangle has how many equal sides? 3 equal sides, splendid. And how many equal angles does it have, Trenton? 3 equal angles. All of those angles are equal, all of those side lengths are equal. Dejan, how many equal sides does an isosceles triangle have? 2, splendid. 1, 2. And how many equal angles does an isosceles triangle have, Barbara? 2 equal angles. Those bottom 2 angles are the same. A scalene triangle. How many equal sides does a scalene triangle have, Izzy? No equal sides, they're all different lengths. How many equal angles does it have, therefore, Daisy May? No equal angles either. And if I've got a right angle, what can we say about this one angle here, Charlie? This one angle I've marked is a 90-degree angle. Splendid. Hopefully this is something we've all covered in primary, but make sure you've got a note in your dark blue books for me. Okay, Year 7, ABCD cards. What type of triangle is this? 3, 2, 1. Cool, I was looking for A. It's a scalene. All the different sides are different lengths and all the different angles are different. What type of triangle is this? Cards up in 3, 2, 1. I was looking for B. It's an equilateral. All the angles are the same and all the side lengths are the same. What type of triangle is this? Let's see cards up in 3, 2. You can write down A, B, C, D in your light blue books in the same way. 1. I was looking for C, isosceles triangle. And finally, what's the mathematical name given for this type of triangle for me? Can I see A, B, C, D cards or write A, B, C, D in your light blue books in 3, 2, 1. I was looking for A. 2 of these sides are the same length as indicated by these straight lines going through them, so therefore these 2 angles are going to be the same. I've just rotated my isosceles triangle. Normally we see it looking like this. That's a terrible triangle. Normally we see it looking like this. And we say these 2 sides are the same and these 2 angles are the same. All I've done is I've rotated it on its side, and that's an isosceles triangle. Okay, Year 7, pause and think. What does this diagram show? What does the picture show? Okay, so I've got 2 triangles. They're exactly identical. And if I add together all the angles in that triangle, if I do 90 plus 51 plus 39, I get 180 degrees. So these diagrams show that the angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Let's have a go at exploring that a bit further. Here's my two triangles, they're both identical. I'm going to hide these two angles, so I'm just left with 51 degrees on this second triangle. I'm now going to move F. I'm going to move it to here. What can you predict is going to have happened to angle DEF for me? Is it going to get bigger, smaller, or stay the same? Write down your answer in your light blue book. So DEF has got bigger and it's now 112 degrees. Knowing that all the angles in a triangle add up to 180, what's EFD? What's that angle going to be? Pause the video and write down your answer in your light blue book now. Okay, EFD is going to be 26 degrees. Let's reset. Here we are. We're back with my right angled triangle. I'm going to hide these two angles and I'm going to move F. In fact, I'm going to keep this angle here. I'm going to move F to... where am I going to move it to? I'm going to move F to here. Can you now predict what this final angle is going to be? Pause the video and have a think. Write down your answer in your light blue book. Okay, this angle is now 42 degrees. We've now got a nice isosceles triangle. Those two angles are exactly the same, but 180 degrees in a triangle means this missing angle is going to be 42. Let's explore another type of triangle. What if I make this angle 60 and I attempt to make this other angle 60. What's this final angle going to be? Pause the video and in your light blue book, work out what this final angle is. Okay, this final angle is going to be 60 degrees. And what do we call this type of triangle that we've formed, Dejan? It's an equilateral triangle, exactly. George, what's an equilateral triangle? 3 equal sides and 3 equal angles. If I've got an equilateral triangle, all the angles have to add up to 180 degrees. Every single one of those angles has got to be 60 degrees for them to all be equal. Let's reset. Let's look at one final type of triangle. What happens if I move E to here? What do we call this type of triangle, Drew? A scalene triangle. Brilliant. So, Gabby, if I reveal this angle here as 41, we know the angles in a triangle add up to 180. What's this final angle going to be, Gabby? 180 take away 82, take away 41, gives me 57. Thank you very much. So we've had a little explore of different types of triangles. In your dark blue books, can you give me the title Angles in a Triangle, and underneath write the sentence, angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Can I then see pens down and eyes on the board, please? Pause the video and jot that down now. Okay, I'm going to go through an example and then you're going to do an example. I know the angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees and I need to find this final angle x. So I know that x is going to be equal to 180, take away the other two angles. So take away 87, take away 63, 180, take away 87, take away 63 is going to give me what, George? 30, lovely. So x is going to be 30 in this case. Over to you, Year 7. In your dark blue books, can you have a go at this example for me? Pause the video for a couple of minutes and work it out now. So angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So my x this time is going to be equal to 180. Take away my other two angles, so take away 52 and take away 27. 180 take away 52 take away 27 gives me what, Elliot? 101. Fantastic. Okay, Year 7, in your light blue books, can you pause the video and have a go at these 8 questions? Pause the video for about 10 minutes and work those out now, please. And these are the answers. Please check how you did. For these last ones, you need to know that the angles on a straight line add up to 180 and the angles round a point add up to 360. Okay, dark blue books. I've now got a different type of triangle. What do we call this type of triangle, Darcy? An isosceles triangle, exactly. I've got 2 sides that are exactly the same length. I want to work out what x is. What else do we know about an isosceles triangle, Dejan? The bottom 2 angles are going to be the same, so this angle here is also equal to 67. Now we can use the fact the angles in a triangle add up to 180. So to work out what x is, we do 180, take away 67, take away 67. 180, take away 67, take away 67, gives me what, Breeze? 46 degrees, lovely. Over to you, Year 7. In your dark blue books, can you have a go at this example for me? Work out the value of x. Pause the video for a couple of minutes and work it out now, please. Okay, so again, we've got an isosceles triangle. We know that these bottom 2 angles are going to be the same, but we don't know what they are yet. But what we do know is that 2 times x, so this one plus this one, is going to be equal to 180 take away 112. We could also say that x plus x is going to be 180 take away 12. So 2x, which is the same as x plus x, is equal to what, Roberts? Lovely, 68. So each of those angles x, which we know is equal because it's an isosceles triangle, is going to equal to 34 degrees. Over to you, Year 7. In your light blue books, can you have a go at these questions for me? Pause the video for 10 minutes and see how many you can work out. They do get trickier as you go on. And these are the answers. Please mark your work and check how you did. Okay, I've now got an equilateral triangle where all my sides are exactly the same length and all my angles are exactly the same. If the angles in a triangle add up to 180, I know that A plus A plus A is going to equal 180. Lily, how else could I write A plus A plus A? I could write it as 3a. Fantastic. And we're really good at solving linear equations now. If I divide both sides by 3, I know that A is equal to 60 degrees. And this is true in all equilateral triangles. Over to you, Year 7. In your dark blue books, work out what B is for me. Pause the video, have a little think. Okay, this is an isosceles triangle, so we know that both B's are the same. So we know that 180 take away 52 is going to give us what B plus B is. So we know that 180 take away 52 is what, Breeze? 128, lovely. So 128 is equal to 2 lots of whatever B is. Because we've taken our 180, we've removed 52, so we know that whatever's left over has got to be split equally between those 2 B's. So B is going to be equal to 64 degrees. Please make sure you've got this example in your dark blue book for me. Okay, so a quick recap of everything we've covered. We know that angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So if I've got a straight line and I've got B and A plus B equals 180 degrees. If you find any continuous straight line with another straight line joining it or cutting across it, that's a fact you need to know. Fact 2 we went through was angles around a point. Angles around a point add up to 360 degrees. If you have a collection of lines all crossing at one point, one vertex, then it's time to use this rule. The next one we looked at the interior angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. And that's true of any type of triangle you come across. And the other fact we did was opposite angles. We said vertically opposite angles were equal. So A is equal to B in this case and C is equal to D. Please check you understand all of those rules because we're going to need them. Okay, Year 7, ABCD cards. What is the size of the angle marked X? You're going to need to know vertically opposite angles and angles in a triangle. Pause the video and work it out now for me. Okay, let's go through the answer. So we've got 65 degrees. We can work out what this angle here is because it's vertically opposite. So that's also going to be 65. We know angles in a triangle add up to 180. So X is going to be equal to 180. Take away the other two angles in the triangle. So take away 55 and take away 65. 180, take away 55, take away 65. Leaves me with 60 degrees, so I was looking for A. Okay, Year 7, in your light blue books, can you have a go at these questions? Pause the video for 10 to 15 minutes, see how many you can get through. If you're really confident, you can start on C or D. I'm happy with that. Off you go. And these are the answers. Please check how you did. Okay, let's look at my lesson destination. I started off with an isosceles triangle and I said X was obtuse. Can you pause the video and write down a set of possible values for X, Y and Z and have a go at the second question as well for me. Pause the video for a couple of minutes and work out those exam questions now. And here's some of the answers I came up with. I came up with 120, 30 and 30. As long as those bottom two angles are the same and this top angle is greater than 90 degrees, your answer's correct. And for the bottom one, I said no because angles in a triangle must add up to 180 degrees. This was our second destination. I drew you a set of lines and I just said, what can you work out? Pause the video for a couple of minutes. See what you can work out in your light blue books. Anything at all. I will take anything at all. What can you work out? Okay, so possibilities you could have worked out. You could have said angles on a straight line add up to 180. So A is equal to 180 take away 30. That would be a possible thing you could work out. Sorry, take away 130. So you could have worked out that A was equal to 50. You could have said, oh, vertically opposite angles, B's got to be equal to 60. And you could have said angles in a triangle add up to 180, so C is equal to 180, take away 60, take away 50, so C is equal to 70 degrees. Any of those are things you could have worked out. Okay, Year 7, pause the video for 5 to 10 minutes and work out these. Which of these must be true, which of these cannot be true, and which of these might be true. Have a little think in your light blue books now. And here's the mark scheme. This is what it was looking for. The triangle is equilateral might be true if we know that one of the angles is 60. It could be equilateral, they could all be 60, or it could be a scalene, where we just happen to have one that's 60 and the other two are not equal. The triangle has at least one other acute angle it must do, otherwise it cannot form a triangle because they have to add up to 180. The triangle might be a right angled triangle. We could have a 90 degrees, a 60 degrees And what would my final angle therefore be for me, Lucy? 30. That could be true. And the other true angles have got to be less than 60. That cannot be true because we have to get up to 180, and if they're both less than 60, it won't get high enough. Okay, can you now go over to Google Classroom and complete my exit tickets? Submit it before 4 o'clock so I can give you some feedback. Thanks for listening, Year 7, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.